Lakers Nation, what is going on? Because I have one of the craziest trade ideas of the entire offseason to talk about today, and trust me when I say this, if this trade actually happened, it would completely change the future of the Los Angeles Lakers, the Denver Nuggets and the Orlando Magic. And the craziest part is the Lakers would only be giving up 3 players to land a young starting caliber player who could fit perfectly next to Luka Doncic. But would the Nuggets really trade one of their core players, and would the Magic actually give up one of the most valuable young stars in the entire NBA? Because this proposed blockbuster trade involves 9 players, 2 draft picks and some huge risks for all 3 teams, so make sure you stay until the end because I'm gonna break down exactly why this trade could help the Lakers right now and why one team could end up regretting it for years. So according to a trade proposal discussed on the latest episode of Pickaxe and Roll by Ryan Blackburn and Sweep Alive, the Lakers, Nuggets and Magic could pull off one of the biggest trades of the summer. The proposed deal would send Christian Braun, Noah Penda, the Orlando Magic number 46 pick in the 2026 draft, and the Denver Nuggets number 49 pick in the 2026 draft to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Denver Nuggets would receive Franz, Wagner, Goga Bitadze, Jared Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia and Dalton Knecht. And the Orlando Magic would receive Jamal Murray and Darren Holmes II. Now, before we break down why the Lakers would probably love this deal, let's talk about where these teams stand right now. The Lakers finished 4th in the Western Conference with a 53-29 record before getting swept by the Oklahoma City Thunder in the second round of the playoffs. There is also uncertainty surrounding LeBron James' future and Austin Reeves' contract situation, which means the Lakers are searching for younger long-term pieces that can fit around Luka Doncic. Meanwhile, the Nuggets finished 3rd in the West with a 54-28 record but suffered a disappointing first-round playoff exit against an injury-depleted Minnesota Timberwolves team. Even though Nikola Jokic continues to play at an MVP level, reports suggest that every player on the Nuggets roster is available in trade talks except for Jokic himself. Then you have the Orlando Magic, who finished 8th in the Eastern Conference with a 45-37 record before losing a 7-game playoff series against the Detroit Pistons. The Magic have one of the most talented young rosters in basketball, but they still do not have an elite lead guard capable of taking their offense to another level. Now let's talk about why this trade could be a no-brainer for the Lakers. The biggest reason is Christian Braun. The Lakers would essentially be turning 3 bench players into a proven starting caliber wing entering his prime. Last season Braun averaged 12 points, 4.8 rebounds and 2.7 assists while shooting an efficient 51.9% from the field. He is also entering a 5-year $125 million contract extension, which will pay him $21.5 million next season and increase all the way to $28.4 million by the 2030 and 2031 season. And when you think about Luka Doncic-led teams, Christian Braun checks a lot of boxes. He brings athleticism, perimeter defense, transition scoring, energy and excellent off-ball cutting. Those are exactly the type of players that thrive next to Luka. The Lakers would also receive Noah Penda, who is still a young developmental player after averaging 3.8 points, 3.2 rebounds and 1.2 assists. On top of that, the Lakers would pick up 2 second-round draft picks, giving them even more flexibility moving forward. And let's be honest here, the Lakers are not giving up core stars in this deal. They would be moving players who currently project more as role players while bringing in a proven starter who could help them compete around Luka Doncic for years. That is why many people would view this as an easy decision for Los Angeles. But now let's talk about the Nuggets side, because this is where things get really interesting. For Denver, this trade is all about maximizing Nikola Jokic's championship window. The centerpiece of the package is Franz Wagner. Wagner averaged 20.6 points, 5.2 rebounds and 3.3 assists while shooting 48.1% from the field and 34.5% from 3. Injuries limited him to only 34 games, but he is still just 25 years old and remains one of the best young forwards in basketball. He is under contract for 5 years worth $224.2 million. Next season he will earn $41.7 million, followed by salaries of $44.8 million, $47.9 million and $51 million. From Denver's perspective, they would basically be swapping Jamal Murray for a younger two-way wing that fits perfectly next to Jokic. But that is not all they would receive. The Nuggets would also add Goga Bitadze, who averaged 5.9 points, 5 rebounds and 1.3 assists while shooting an incredible 67.8% from the field. He is entering the final year of his 3-year $25 million contract and will earn $7.6 million next season. Denver would also receive Jared Vanderbilt, who averaged 4.4 points and 4.5 rebounds while bringing defensive toughness. Vanderbilt still has 2 years remaining on his deal worth $12.4 million with a $13.2 million player option. Jake LaRavia would provide additional wing depth after averaging 8.2 points, 4 rebounds and 1.8 assists. And Dalton Knecht averaged 4.2 points while shooting 45.5% from the field. So while the Nuggets would be giving up major talent, they would also become younger, deeper and potentially more versatile around Nikola Jokic. But the team taking the biggest risk in this entire trade has to be the Orlando Magic. Because they would be giving up Franz Wagner, who many consider their franchise forward. In return, they would receive Jamal Murray and Darren Holmes II. The reason for making this move is simple. The Magic desperately need an elite offensive creator. And Jamal Murray is coming off the best season of his entire career. Murray averaged 25.4 points, 4.4 rebounds and 7.1 assists while shooting 48.3% from the field and 43.5% from three-point range. He earned his first All-Star selection and his first All-NBA appearance. He is currently under contract for 4 years worth $207 million. His salary will jump to $50.1 million next season before increasing to $53.8 million and eventually $57.5 million. If Orlando made this move, they would suddenly have a dynamic offensive backcourt led by Jamal Murray alongside Desmond Bane. They would also receive Darren Holmes II, who averaged 3.7 points and 1.4 rebounds while shooting 50.8% from the field and 44.4% from three. Holmes remains on an affordable 4-year $15.2 million rookie contract. The problem is obvious though. Franz Wagner is younger, cheaper long-term, and many people believe he still has untapped superstar potential. So while Murray immediately fixes Orlando's biggest weakness, this is definitely the biggest gamble of the entire trade. When you look at this deal from a bigger picture, each team is trying to solve one major problem. The Nuggets get a potential co-star next to Nikola Jokic and Franz Wagner while adding valuable depth. The Magic finally get the elite lead guard they have been searching for in Jamal Murray. And the Lakers acquire a high-level two-way wing in Christian Braun without giving up any core pieces. The biggest question is whether or not the Magic would actually be willing to move Franz Wagner, because he may be the most valuable asset involved in this entire trade. But if the Nuggets are truly willing to explore every option outside of Nikola Jokic, and if the Magic believe they are one star guard away from becoming contenders, then this is exactly the type of blockbuster trade that could dominate off-season headlines. Personally, Lakers Nation, if Rob Pelinka had the opportunity to bring in Christian Braun while only giving up Jared Vanderbilt, Dalton Knecht and Jake LaRavia, I think a lot of fans would be interested. But now I want to hear from you. Would you make this trade if you were the Lakers, or would you rather keep the current roster? Let me know down below, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe because we have more Lakers news, trade rumors, and off-season updates coming very soon.